Well, hello there. If you have found this video, I'm going to assume, or I guess I'm going to hope, that you are knocking stuff off the scavenger hunt list and that you're finding everything that you're supposed to find. So, this video, as I'm making it right now, isn't posted yet, but you would have found this here in the syllabus and course schedule content module underneath Yoda down here, um, right next to the document. I hope you clicked the link there and got it this way. What I want to do really quickly is I just want to hit a couple of high points in the syllabus that I know you can read the syllabus, and I am not going to go over the entire syllabus in gory, disgusting detail, but what I am going to do is I'm going to hit a couple of the most important pieces of the syllabus. So first thing that I want to hit that's extremely important is the assignments that we're going to be doing in this course, the weekly discussions and activities that we do. So this scavenger hunt, the two discussions that are a part of this first week, at, and then the discussions here on out for the entire rest of our semester are extremely important. And I guess what I would call the backbone of what we do in this class. You are going to be doing two discussions each week. There may be a week or two in there where there's only one discussion, but that will be the exception. That will not be the rule. Most weeks there will be two discussions. The activities, it's exactly stuff like this scavenger hunt. I might have you do a quick reflection and turn it in, something like that, as something to add on to what we're doing each week. Just watch for those. The big final paper for our class will be the artifact essay. What the artifact paper is it is, and for now, you don't worry about it, but you will take one of the theories that we learn about in this course, and then you will apply it to some sort of pop culture artifact, a movie, a TV show, a book, a video game, something where you analyze a relationship, an interpersonal relationship, through the lens of the theory that you choose. Next, this looks very intimidating, and I guess maybe to some people it would be. This course has 6 quizzes, and part of your scavenger hunt was to find when the syllabus quiz is due. So there are 6 quizzes, one syllabus quiz, and 5 content quizzes. I'm going to talk a little bit about the quizzes down as we get to the grading scales and standards. This shouldn't be too horribly intimidating. I will explain how the quizzes work. Essentially, the quizzes happen every few weeks as a means for us to make sure we know the terminology, that we're getting the ideas that we're covering in the course. I'll talk a little bit about those. I'll tell you this: all the quizzes will be multiple choice, true, false matching. You do all of the other writing in the discussion boards and your artifact essay and in the journal entries, so there are no essay questions on those quizzes. And then you do 5 journal entries spread out across our term, and these are sort of what I would sort of refer to these as kind of guided thinking activities, where I can see how you're thinking about certain concepts and in our course. Okay, sorry, I can't talk apparently right now. Whoa. Wish I could edit these. Anyway, next, so that's just an overview. It might not look like much, or it might look like a lot. It is more than it looks like. With 2 discussion boards each week, that means you will do 30 discussion boards over the course of our term. There are activities spread out. I try to do one a week, maybe one every other week. We'll see how those go. The artifact essay is going to be 5 to 7 pages long. There are 6 quizzes, and then the journal entries are a page to 1 to 3 pages each. Okay, so there's actually quite a bit going on in that little list right there. Next, we have the grading scales and standards, and this is really why I wanted to make this video. This course has a different approach to the way that grading is done. It's not completely crazy or anything like that, but if you look at number 1, your path is one you get to choose. So if you want an A, pay attention to what you have to do to get an A, and do those things. If you want a B, that's fine. Go ahead. There's nothing wrong with a B. There's really nothing wrong with a B. So if you're like, you know what, I've got a really crazy semester, or there's a whole lot going on in my life right now, then maybe a B is for you, because a B means you get to do a little bit less work, and a C means you get to do a little bit less work. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I want to tell you how this stuff works. So you get to pick your path. All the steps for a grade level must be met in order to earn that grade. So if you want to get the A, you have to meet every single one of the requirements. You could meet let's see, there's what, four of these? You could meet three of these four requirements, not get the fourth one, and you will not get that grade. You will get the one below it. I want to make sure that's clear. So for pretend's sake, you turn in the artifact paper with a minimum score of A, check. Let's say you did that. You take all 6 quizzes with a minimum score of 90% on 5 of the 6, and one with a minimum score of 70%, check, you do that. You complete 90% of the discussion and the activities, check, but then you only do 4 of the 5 journals, that's not an A, that's a B, okay? Want to make sure that's clear. Let me tell you a little bit about how these quizzes are going to work here. Now, if you want an A, you have to take all 6 quizzes. If you look down a little bit further, for a B, you take 5 of the 6, and the standards aren't quite as high. The way the quizzes work is this. You have the opportunity to take each quiz 2 times within the time frame that is allotted. So you could take each quiz twice to get the grade that you want to get. So you can study, take the quiz, and if you don't quite get the score that you want, you can look at your responses, you can look at the answers, you can study, then go back and retake that quiz to get the grade that you want. The point of this class is learning, and I want to give you as many opportunities to do that as possible, and retaking a quiz is one of those ways to do that. So the artifact paper, of course, I will assign a little bit later in our semester in more detail. The quizzes will come up. I will give you reviews for each quiz. The only quiz you don't have a review for is the syllabus quiz, but it's open syllabus. It says that whenever you log into the quiz. So there you go there. Okay, and the syllabus quiz is also unlimited attempts. You can take it as many times as you need to get the score that you want. Okay, the other ones don't work that way. 90% of the discussions in the activities, so you have to do the work in the class, and then you have to do all 5 of the journals. The journals will only be graded on a complete, did not complete basis. And so the idea is for them to be low stakes assignments where you can really show me what you're thinking without worrying about meeting too many standards. I just want to know where your thinking is on these topics, okay? So you have to hit all the steps. You have a chance, so number 3, you have the chance to rewrite the artifact essay twice to get the grade that you want. So, and that means you write it the first time, you turn it in, I'll give you feedback, I'll give it back to you, and then if that it's not quite the grade you want, you can rewrite it, you give it back to me, I give you feedback. Maybe your grade raises, but maybe it's not where you want it to be. You can rewrite it again, okay? So you can rewrite the artifact paper up to twice. So the original and then 2 more, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit. Let me see where I'm at. You have the chance to take each quiz twice, only in the time frame allotted, which I mentioned, okay, in order to achieve the grade you want. Each quiz does have a late period for those who missed the original time. We'll talk about late tokens here in a minute. If you take a late quiz, it costs you a late token, okay? You start the semester with 3 late tokens. I'll talk about late tokens when I get to the late policy. And then the journal deadlines are going to be more general. I will assign the journals in the middle of week 1. Okay, so you're going to get in here, you're doing the scavenger hunt, you're figuring out how the discussions work, stuff like that. Come the middle of week 1, I am going to post another video assigning the journals. Okay, so the journals, you get to sort of shift those deadlines as you need to make your schedule work better for you. Okay. And then make sure you ask questions, all right? Make sure you ask questions. So I want to make sure that this is as clear as it can be. And again, if you have questions about this, that week 1 discussion board number 2 is the place to ask those questions. If you have anything that is unclear, if you're kind of wondering, and right now you're probably wondering, I'm not done yet, but if you have any questions, post it in that week 1 board number 2, okay? So the late policy is late tokens. So at the beginning of the semester, each student starts with 3 late tokens, and you get to use those at your discretion. Essentially, it means you get to use a late token on any assignment you want to turn in late. The token grants you a within the next week extension, so that you use it for. So So if you have something that was originally going to be due Sunday night at 11:30 in week 1, that gives you until Sunday night 11:30 in week 2. I hope that makes sense. If it was for your initial post, then it's the Thursday the next week. Makes sense? So it gives you a full week. These late tokens help a lot in shifting time, and there's no point penalty for using a late token. You use them at your discretion. You can use them to do a quiz. You can use it on the artifact paper. You can use it on a journal. You can use it for a discussion. Whatever you would like to do. Okay. So assignments submitted late without a late token don't get credit. Period. End of story. Here is how you submit a late token. You find and download electronically the late token document found in the content section of D2L. It's actually in the resources content module. If you go to the resources content module, there you will find the late token document. In fact, I'll just sort of show you in another tab here where that's at, okay, while that loads up. So then I'll pop over here really quickly. It's down here at the very bottom. Well, yours won't be this far down, mine is. You go into resources and the late token. Oh, I've got to reorder these. The late token is in here. A bunch of this you won't be able to see right now. The late token should be the very first thing you see, okay? But that's where it's at. It's in content, course materials, content, resources, okay? So, and then you go drop that in the Dropbox. And I showed you where those were, activities, assignments, and you drop it in the late token Dropbox. And you drop all of your late token documents in the same Dropbox, okay? That way I can see how many you've used all in one place. Okay, I hope that's clear. The cool thing about these is, and this is something to really pay attention to, students who still have 3 tokens at the end of the semester can cash them in for automatic full credit on the final journal or the final quiz. So you now get to decide, oh wow, am I going to save my late tokens all semester? Or am I going to use them throughout the semester? I can tell you, the kind of student I was, I would have used all of my late tokens before I got to the end. That's just how I was. But many of you might want to save them. And if you save them, this might be a good reward for turning everything in on time throughout the rest of the semester. Then down here are rewrites. And I am going to just take and explain this as quickly as I possibly can. You can rewrite the artifact paper and you can rewrite the journals. You can rewrite the artifact paper twice, and you may submit 1 rewrite for each journal. Hope that makes sense. And here are the quick guidelines. Number 1, for a rewrite to be available, you must submit a legitimate attempt at the assignment. You can't just not turn something in and then go put it in the rewrite folder. That's not a rewrite, okay? If you need to do that, you need to use a late token. I hope that makes sense. Number 2, all the rewrites are to be submitted to the rewrites Dropbox. So that again is in that assignments spot up there, same place as the late tokens, not the same Dropbox, but the same area as where the late tokens are and the scavenger hunt goes and all that kind of stuff, okay? Rewrites can be done as soon as you receive feedback from me, or you can wait till the end of the semester. Some students will hold off on rewrites until they're starting to see how their grades are looking. So you can do that as well. And then here you go. While rewrites may be submitted across the semester, all rewrites must be done by 11:30 p.m. on Monday, December the 14th. That is the very last day of our possible course. And so all rewrites must be submitted then. Rewrites submitted after that will not be accepted. Just want to make sure that's clear. So folks, I want to make sure there's nothing else. Yeah. So between the late tokens, between the use of rewrites, between the flexibility here, I hope that you feel like you can pick and choose what path you want to take. So if you know what, a C is fine with me, then you can do less work. Okay, you can see what you need to do. If you get an A though, you will have earned that A. I used to get so frustrated when I would get the same grade as someone who sat next to me, and I know that I did more than they did. This grading structure takes that away. If you get an A, you earned it, and you can know that. Okay? If you have any questions, post them in that week 1 board number 2. Otherwise, keep going on your scavenger hunt, and I'll see you in the boards.